I want to draw you guys' attention to something I just watched, a Sheikh Gumi's video. In the video, he called the terrorists in the north misunderstood victims. Misunderstood victims. Like, I don't really know what he's trying to do, and I don't really know why the man is still walking out there freely. Somebody that can suggest negotiating with terrorists is not meant to be walking on the streets freely. Especially somebody that claims to preach the word of God. And I think the moment we Muslims start having uncomfortable conversations with our Islamic leaders, or the moment we start having conversations like this, before the outside world will stop looking at Islam as a terrorist religion. Because it's people like this on nationwide television, you're calling them misunderstood victims. It's people like this that is tarnishing the image of Islam. Because these are the people that are representing us out there. A person that can call terrorists misunderstood victims. I know people will come out now and say she's just a small girl and she's yapping her mouth. I don't care. The truth is the truth. What is glaring is glaring. It does not take a 60 years old man to decide or determine whether it's the truth or not. Why? The time you are using to make placards to protest against Trump invasion, why don't you use that time to join your hands with your Christian brothers and sisters and mount pressure on the Nigerian government to do something about terrorism in the north? The time you are using to make placards of Trump's picture, why don't you use that time to mount to the Aso Rock to put pressure on the Nigerian government to do something? Make it make sense. We need to start acting with reason in this country. We need to start taking reasonable steps towards making this country better. We are Nigerians. We are in this country. We are the reason why this country is like this. And we need to start taking accountability and start taking steps to make this country work again. Nobody is coming to save us. We are the only one that can save ourselves. Because imagine a country that does not even like each other. How do you expect a foreigner to come and save them? It just saddens me to see that people like Sheikh Gumi is still working out freely, still able to take press conferences, still able to talk about things like this. Misunderstood victims.
Northerners are dying every day. Your people are dying every day. But you took matters into your own hand. You made placards to go outside and do a mass protest against Trump's invasion of Nigeria. Again, I repeat, Northerners are dying. Your people are dying, either of insecurity or of extreme hunger. But you took placards to go and protest against Trump's invasion of Nigeria. At this point here, I don't think there's anything that I can do to continue defending Northern Nigeria, because Northerners, because the more you voice out the more you try to defend them, the more they show you reasons why you should not stick out your neck for them. Our people have a huge problem, a very huge problem, which is not going to get fixed anytime soon. It's very painful to admit, but it is it's so sad to see that this is the reality that we're living in this country. Our people are being killed. Northerners are being killed. We are plagued with insecurity. Mukaɗai muna da Lakurawa, mukaɗai muna da Fulani herdsmen, mukaɗai muna da Boko Haram, mukaɗai muna da bandits. We have so many factions, so many militia factions in northern Nigeria that are actively killing communities in northern Nigeria, not just Christian communities, Muslim communities. They are actively raiding, kidnapping, killing communities in Nigeria. And one sheikh is saying they are misunderstood. These bandits are misunderstood victims and we should sit down and negotiate with them. While the other faction of the Northerners are out protesting against Trump's invasion, instead of going and channeling that energy towards demanding your government to protect its people so that Trump will not have a reason or an excuse to invade you people. You are... And let me just say this. This is going to piss off a lot of Northerners, but again, I've never been known to care. In a sane community, in a sane society, in a sane country, the treatment that Albani got would have been the exact same treatment that Sheikh Gumi is supposed to be getting from the Nigerian government, because that man is openly sympathizing with terrorists, is openly calling for negotiation with terrorists. I don't know how negotiating with terrorists is a good thing, but our government are known to be negotiators with terrorists, so that's not really something that's surprising, especially given the fact that his values align with their own value, because sympathize with the terrorists, say they are misunderstood, rehabilitate them and reintegrate them back into society. How can I sit down as a northerner with anybody that sits down with common sense and a critical sense of reasoning? How would you sit down and defend things like this? How would you start defending things like this? Misunderstood victims. I'm actually tired. I am so tired, because what's the solution? Where do we go from here? What's the solution? Because we have a government that is willingly negotiating with terrorists and openly sympathizing with them and rehabilitating them, while hundreds of innocent people keep dying every day by the hands of the same people that they are saying are misunderstood victims. Justice in Nigeria is a myth. It's a big myth.
But let's ask ourselves this question now. Why is Sheikh Gumi considered as a security threat in countries as even Saudi Arabia, that even to observe pilgrimage, he could not be allowed to observe pilgrimage? But in Nigeria now, he's a force to be reckoned with. The social media are inviting him and granting interviews and allowing him to even negotiate in regards to some of the atrocities that is bedeviling the nation. So in this regards now, who is actually wrong? Is it the Saudi that is wrong, that is not being fair to him? Or is it Nigeria that is now being liberal and that is now being more objective rather in regards what his personality really is? Can somebody help me answer that?
Who made this lunatic the Alpha and the Omega in Nigeria? Who made him the spokesperson of Muslims in Nigeria? Who is he? And to be talking all the nonsense that he has been saying all this while. Who is he? This bastard talking about jihad in Nigeria, that he was even prohibited from going to Mecca. You are a holy person, but you have been prohibited or banned from going to Saudi Arabia, because they discovered that you are a madman. And this lunatic has followers in Nigeria. You are following a mad person, a lunatic, and you don't want anybody to talk about it. Is this the Nigeria that we want? Where some people will feel that they have the right to do whatever they like and get away with it? Thank God that we have countries that like America, who will come and invade you and put an end to your madness. We have America that are more mentally unstable than you. And I believe that by the time America will come, bastard idiots like this should have their heads on the stake. Nigeria was a country in 1960 to 1966, because back then we had what is called diversity management, or we consider diversity management in the structure of Nigeria. And that is why you hear that in the First Republic, even the traditional rulers had rules, because we need them. We need them so that when we have tribal problems, these people can come and tell us why their tribe is giving us problem, or why this tribe is clashing with this tribe. If we have religious problem, we should have religious representatives so that we'll call this person. Why? What is happening? Why are you giving us problem? What is the problem between this religion and this religion? Why are Christians having problems with Muslims? And how can these problems be solved? That is how a diverse nation should structure her government. And without diversity management, we will continue to have this kind of problems where some tribes will feel that they should be superior, or will develop their mental madness, their mental picture of what they think that Nigeria should be, and will be executing it in their mental instability and be going without having the appropriate government agencies to resolve such issues. Is that the Nigeria that we will call a country? Nigeria will never work without diversity management. And anytime we talk about diversity management, these Fulani people are always against it because they know that they are sitting on thrones that do not belong to them. They are sitting on thrones that do not belong to them. And they will have to give it up. And they must give it up. They must give up those thrones, those Hausa thrones that they are occupying. They must give them up. They must give them up. Those Yoruba thrones that they are occupying, they must give them up. We must manage our diversity. That is the only way Nigeria will work. So that if any tribe is giving us problem, we'll call the representative of that tribe and ask him, why are we having problem, or what is your problem? We should be asking the Sultana of Sokoto, what is the problem of the Fulanis? Why is Boko Haram only Fulanis? Are the Fulanis only the only Muslims in Nigeria? Who are they? Who ordained them the most holy people in Nigeria? Who ordained them the most holy Muslims in Nigeria? And why are the Hausas not part of Boko Haram? Why are the Muslims, Yoruba Muslims, not part of Boko Haram? Why must it be the Fulanis? Only through diversity management can we have these problems resolved. And so one of the reasons why we are having problems in Nigeria is because our traditional rulers are absolutely useless to us. Useless. And despite the fact that the constitution has not given the rule, there is a point your people will experience problems. We have been having problems with Fulanis here and there. Be it headers and farmers clashes, be it bandit and terrorism, all pointing accusing fingers at the Fulanis. What is stopping the other traditional rulers from coming together? I hear that they do go and sit in a council. I wonder with the nonsense they discuss in those councils. What is stopping them from coming together to ask the Fulanis what their problem is?
When lies have become edified in a society, you'll find a situation where a man like Gumi, who should ordinarily be considered respectable, even though he's not. If you want to get to know him, the more you know of the man, the more you read of him, the more you listen to him, the quicker you'll find that he's deserving of no respect. Now, I am using what he said to illustrate a point, so I'll quote him. He says, yes, I know they have killed, and it is wrong to kill anybody innocent. Yes, he knows that they have killed, and then he qualified it, and it is wrong to kill anybody innocent. Who determines the innocence of the killed? He went further to explain how logical it is that peace be found with these murderous terrorists, whilst no peace may be found with the separatist agitators. Like I said, IPOB was only the type that he elected to use. I will put all separatist agitators in the same basket, because separatist agitation must not, may not, and should never be equated with the madness of Islamic terrorism and Fulani militancy. So in recent days, as Nigeria had to deal with the reality of the Trumpian mirror, I found another English word. Trump held up a mirror for Nigeria. And since he held up this mirror to our country, I have seen a vain attempt at applying makeup to the image in the mirror. Now that is a very funny metaphor. An image is in the mirror, and then you carry your mascara, your lipstick, and you begin to apply it to the image that is in the mirror that must constantly shift. Now understand this, that is the nature of the lies that you have to tell against the manifest truth. Trump came out and he said, it was very specific. I actually have it jotted down. He put out 8 things. He says, if the Nigerian government continues to allow, so they were allowing it. Is this a lie? Of course not. I was alive and well, and all of us were hearing. We were here in Nigeria when General T.Y. Danjuma said, they collude. The Nigerian army, they collude. He was the chief of army staff, a general, an eminently qualified member of what was once upon a time the Northern Oligarch, a veritable member of the Senate where they sit down to decide what became of this sorry country. He came out in the public, said, you collude. The army of the Nigerian state, it colludes. If you wait for them to protect you, you will die one by one. That was in Delhi Farutini. That was T.Y. Danjuma. If he doesn't know what he's talking about, he does. He has access to intelligence beyond my imagination. He's been a player. He's not just a player, he's a game maker. He says the army colludes. That is an institution he once led. So, what has Trump said? That people are cackling like beheaded chicken up and down the place. The Nigerian government allows it. So that's the first thing that Trump said. The USA will immediately stop all aids and assistance. Think about it. How do I pay a drummer? And the drummer will be playing a beat different from the one that I want to hear. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. Since our rulers have assured that Nigeria remains a beggar nation in spite of its riches, why would they not be told that the hates will be stopped? How does that become the problem of the victims? The hates never did anything for us, but has Trump lied? Has he not been giving hate? Has the Americans not been giving hate to us? We made ourselves beggars. And since when do beggars begin to have the mouth to complain about what those who gives it and in what denomination, or even when they give or do not give? And then he went on to talk about our now disgraced country. Question is this: does it require Trump to point out the obvious to us? What does it take for a country to become disgraced? A country that cannot conduct elections? The very first function of a state is the protection of the lives and properties of the citizens. How well has the Nigerian state protected the lives and properties of the Nigerian citizen? How well? This is a state that has failed woefully, and don't forget, deliberately, because it allows it. It allows it. Trump talked about coming gun blazing. He didn't say it was going to come gun blazing for me and you. He said it was going to come gun blazing for the terrorists. If we have a situation where our government has become so manifestly useless and irresponsible that it allows it, how then do you have quibble with the person who is threatening to come and do what you have failed to do as your duty? Yeah, you don't want any guns blazing in our country. It's not. This is not a problem that can be resolved with American gun blazing in our street. But surely we can do with a few help by America in killing off those who have been killing us. So please, these lies about... Anyway, question is this. He spoke about Islamic terrorists killing Nigerians. And then the firestorm began. And it is because of the edification of lies in our society. Gumi was quoted as saying very clearly, and I then went online to listen to the video. I watched the video myself. And what Gumi said was very interesting. He was seeking to make a distinction between members of separatist organizations like IPOP He mentioned IPOB specifically and the terrorists who are killing Nigerians indiscriminately across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Answering Gumi is not my preoccupation, but I am using Gumi to illustrate a point that must be made. When lies have become edified in a society, you'll find a situation where a man like Gumi, who should ordinarily be considered respectable, even though he is not. If you want to get to know him, the more you know of the man, the more you read of him, the more you listen to him, the quicker you will find that he's deserving of no respect. Now, I am using what he said to illustrate a point, so I'll quote him. He says, yes, I know they have killed, and it is wrong to kill anybody innocent. Yes, he knows that they have killed, and then he qualified it, and it is wrong to kill anybody innocent. Who determines the innocence of the killed? He went further to explain how logical it is that peace be found with these murderous terrorists, whilst no peace may be found with the separatist agitators. Like I said, IPOB was only the type that he elected to use. I will put all separatist agitators in the same basket, because separatist agitation must not, may not, and should never be equated with the madness of Islamic terrorism and Fulani militancy. Never. But these false equivalencies, which are in actual fact lies, have been erected in the Nigerian public space to normalize evil.
Good day to our viewers all over the world, and welcome back to Local Journal. Honestly, if we are living in a country that has laws and the rule of law was working in this country, then people like Sheikh Gumi shouldn't be working freely today, granting interview and granting media rounds without being checkmated. Nigeria is a country whereby we give credence and regard to people who should have been in jail. And I don't know why this special treatment is offered to these Fulani sheikhs, because I believe if Gumi was not a Fulani man, he would have been arrested by now. But look at him roaming freely, traveling about, a person who was labeled a terrorist and was prevented from coming to Saudi Arabia because they saw him as a security threat. It's the same person roaming about and causing problem in Nigeria without being unchecked. Nobody is willing to say anything to him. Rather, the government exalts him and they see him as an untouchable personality in Nigeria, whilst Nigerians continue to use their lives to pay for his evil atrocity. Look at what is going on, and look at the way he comes on TV to defend bandits and to say that these people are being misunderstood. Misunderstood in the sense that they go about unaliving people and kidnapping people and demanding for ransom. What does this misunderstanding mean in the context of this thing this terrorist sympathizer Sheikh Gumi is saying? And this is a man that served or once served in the Nigerian military, whose son is also serving as a military man defending this nation. So what does the future hold for? What's the hope of Nigeria if Nigeria is in the hands of these people? Honestly, I'll keep on advocating for regional government if Nigeria cannot divide, because this whole mess is becoming unbearable, and the more we think about a solution coming, the more the road continues becoming unbearable. And at this point, at this juncture, I think the best thing in the interest of everyone in this country is for us to go to the system we were before we were all amalgamated. Because honestly, the way these people are thinking, I don't really get. Even their own people are already condemning him, and his statement is making because they know it doesn't sit well with their religion. They know that he is part of the people exacerbating or like giving credence to the work of these lunatics who are in the bush causing mayhem. and kidnapping people, unaliving people, and maiming helpless citizens in Nigeria. The government needs to rise up to their occasion. They need to rise up to the occasion to ensure that people like this don't walk freely in Nigeria. These are people who are security threats to the nation, but the government is not doing anything to stop people like this. They are quick to come out and protest. People who are in this mess, they are the ones, their leaders are still deceiving them to come out, carry placards against the US. The United States, who is trying to come into help, is the same country you guys are protesting against because your sheikh had told you lies. Honestly, Nigeria seems like an irredeemable country. And unless the few who are still aware of what these people are trying to do and how these people want to turn this country into a caliphate wakes up and continue speaking against this whole movement, there is no way this country is going to go well. We need Trump in Nigeria. We need him to come and salvage, come and help Nigeria, and to come and save us from this whole problem we are facing, because it seems we are like under siege. And unless external forces like America comes into the country to help, I don't think the government has the political will to bring these people to book. This is my opinion. Kindly drop what you think about this in the comment section. And if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.